The King Price Race to the Sun is powered by Ford and hosted by Sun City.
Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go?
It's a glorious morning behind me. The weather conditions near perfect for the racing today. It's 164 kilometers over 1,000 meters of climbing, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're on the gravel roads, there's lots of corrugations. Tactics is going to play a major role. Major instigators today, Matt Beers for Toyota Specialized is back after 3 years. His teammate Tristan Orkier will be with him and they'll be fighting for the top step of the podium. Watch out for Javier Kruger, and then in the women's we've got Sam Sanders, we've got Sarah Hill, we've got Catherine Collane. It's going to be an absolute banger.
In just 6 years, the King Price Race to the Sun has become one of the biggest one-day off-road cycling events in South Africa, attracting the best mountain bikers, roadies and gravel racers in the land to this iconic route. Starting at the Uwer Resort on the banks of the 100-year-old Hartbeespoort Dam and finishing at Sun City Resort in the Northwest Province. The national gravel champion Matt Beers was back as well.
Yeah, it's been 3 years since I've done this race, 2020 last, so excited to be back. It's a great race. It's something different compared to most of the gravel races. It's going to be very tactical, so yeah, it's going to be spicy out there.
Just the way it should be. The route took them along a portion of the 544-kilometre-long Brits Canal system that is the lifeblood of farms below the Harties, providing irrigation to around 200 square kilometres of farmland on which wheat, lucerne, citrus, fruit, flowers and much else are produced. The clear skies and warm sunshine were welcomed after recent heavy rains in the region. Always aggressive Alvin Steenkamp of Team TG was up for the race. And he joined fellow roadie Davin Marie of DMS in the early attack. Ambitious to say the least, the first of 5 water points at 52 kilometres still way up the road. The man they feared most was Beers. The Absa Cape Epic winner was preparing for a big racing block in the United States, where he has been invited to take part in the Lifetime Grand Prix Gravel Series, starting with a 200-mile unbound gravel on the 3rd of June. The good conditions and ferocious pace soon split the contenders from the pretenders. A select group of 7 managed to get away. And all were mountain bikers, 2 each from Toyota Specialized, Imbuko Typedev and Valley Electrical Titan Racing, and Alex Miller of Piger Eurosteel. The race was now seriously on. Back at the Uwer Resort at Harties, the elite women's field were preparing for their start. The defending champion Sam Sanders was back once again and in fine form. The woman she beat in a thrilling sprint a year ago, Sarah Hill, was also on the start line.
I'm feeling really good at the moment. I feel like I've had such a nice block of training, riding and racing, and when things all come together you just feel good, so why not show up?
And your advice to all the other ladies, particularly the first timers heading out on an event like this, what would you say today?
Oh wow, well it's a really fast, flat-ish race. There are some climbs that you will feel, but stick with the bunch, enjoy the views and enjoy the journey.
It certainly was a journey to be enjoyed. The opportunity to ride bikes from Harties to Sun City is very special. A mix of road bikes and gravel bikes headed away on a short neutral section. And Sarah Hill did the honours on perhaps the fastest descent of the entire race. Sanders, Lizanne Lowe and Catherine Collane in her slip. Lowe is predominantly a roadie for the customised Pertec BioPlus team and did some of the early pace setting as they swept past the citrus farms and past some of the slower men from the earlier start batches. The result of Lowe's work was a thinning down of the group as they hit the canal section. The road was flat and smooth and fast. Little by way of climbing in the race, it was going to be a tactical battle and a war of attrition. Sam Sanders of Efficient Insure Infinity took to the front. Alongside her on the outskirts of Brits was Sarah Hill, who was looking for a first win in the race to the sun. In the pink colours of Ashley Moorman Passio's Rockacopper Collective team was Catherine Collane from Paarl, who was, like Matt Beers, also preparing for the Lifetime Grand Prix series in the United States. Again, the group began splitting, with riders leaving gaps and fighting to regain contact with the riders ahead of them. These surges take a toll. This is the attritional nature of the King Price Race to the Sun. By the Machali Citrus water point at 52 k's, there were just 3 in the lead group: Hill, Collane and Sanders. This train was not stopping at the station. Lisanne Lowe was paying for her early efforts. While the racing is a vital element of the event, the King Price Race to the Sun is about so much more for the thousands of keen amateurs who take on this challenge. Each has a unique story about why they are here to take on this wonderful journey.
Cool, so when I was 7 years old, I jumped off a roof, I kicked my leg through a glass window, I severed the back of my knee, which left me with peroneal nerve palsy of the lower left limb. Basically a loss of function, a loss of movement, a loss of feeling, etc. I've been classified as disabled for most of my life, which I'm obviously extremely proud of. And I love doing things to prove that I am actually capable of doing these things regardless of my disability. And I think over and above trying to raise disability awareness, I am aiming to raise funds for a very special kid, James Tusi. He needs a prosthetic leg, and that's what I'm setting out to do. I'm setting out to cycle from Joburg to Cape Town in October over 8 days, and then swim from Robben Island to Big Bay, all in support of him. So last year I did the Comrades Marathon, and I really understood the power of the mind and the power of persistence, and I want to just take that to another level. I've never entered a race just like this, so this is obviously going to be the most mileage I've ever done in one sitting in terms of a bike, and I thought this was just a good opportunity to prove to myself that I can again do something like this and do something that able-bodied people can do too.
I'm here with Matthew Robson. This is our 3rd year doing the Race to the Sun. It's an awesome experience. We're here for the food table and the salted potatoes. But it's a great experience. It's a lacquer race. The vibe is good. And yeah, we're enjoying it. We're thoroughly enjoying it this year. Thanks, guys.
The massive Rudakoppies Dam is a carp angler's haven and ensures the farms are well irrigated. It was also an indication that the lead group was closing in on the halfway point of the race. This was the second water point at 79 kilometres. Water and Detoy Bimbuko led the group in exactly 2 hours. Years at Nokia Toyota Specialized were next, followed by Kriya, Becker and Miller. Chasing bunches were a mix of strong amateurs and top veterans. Etienne Janssen van Buren had to stop to tweak his chain guard. Sarah Hill and Sam Sanders came through the halfway point 20 minutes after the leading men. Hill disposing of her hydration pack. Sanders ready to refill her 2 bottles.
Hi, my name is Mielani. We're currently at the halfway point. It's been such a great afternoon, or should I say a great morning. I'm here with my team, Team Sonolo. The 2 guys have just passed. We're just waiting for the other 2 who should make their way in the next 10 to 20 minutes. Such a great experience. If you're not doing Race to the Sun, you better go to Race to the Sea in Hermanus in September. Awesome. Cheers.
This is Ayanda Ngnerecha. We've just reached halfway, and all I can tell you, it's epic. It is worth coming. We're halfway. I'm looking forward to what lies ahead. Cheers.
It's my 2nd year doing the Race to the Sun. Enjoying it, a little bit wet. Looking forward to the second half. Thank you very much.
And that's the true beauty of the King Price Race to the Sun. There is something for all riders to enjoy. Back with the elite men's race, and Tristan Norkier was doing a big turn on the front in the service of his Toyota Specialized teammate Matt Beers. Nearing the King of the Mountains hotspot.
Up
update for you here at the 106 kilometer, the Machali Citrus King of the Mountain. Alex Miller from Paga Eurosteel has just taken the win. A great sprint from him. We saw Peter du Toit in there. We saw Matt Beers in 4. We saw Gert Haynes right there as well. The guys are working really, really well at the moment. We've got Kent Main close by, and he is chasing this hunting pack of 6 at the moment. He's about 45 seconds back.
Soon after the surge to the KOM, the lead bunch was reduced to 5, with Beers losing his lieutenant Norkier, who'd done a huge amount of work on the front and was now on his own. Beers led Gert Haynes, Peter du Toit, Alex Miller and Harvey Kruger. Du Toit was 3rd in 2018, 2nd in 2019 and 8th last year. He was showing his strength as the bunch worked well together. Since the inception of the race, the Mokwasi community have been very supportive, and the route took the lead group through the village at high speed. Then it was back onto the railway track road. Strategy and tactics were coming to the fore now. Miller, the Commonwealth Games cross-country bronze medalist from last year, made an attack that put Beers and du Toit under pressure. A show of strength from the Namibian, perhaps. On the R566, he cannily sat at the back as du Toit set the pace. Positioning was key here as they would leave the road shortly to turn in towards Sun City and onto a dirt section just before the finish. Du Toit knows the finish well. Beers had not been here since winning in 2020 and Miller was a novice in the race. He checked the distance and then attacked. Beers matched him at first, while du Toit was squeezed out and had the most to do in 3rd. At the finish, it was Alex Miller who won a thriller for Paga Eurosteel King Price, just holding off Matt Beers, with Peter du Toit again having to settle for the lowest step on the podium. What a race! 3 of the best in the business, bringing their best form and taking it all the way to the line. The evidence of the day's efforts etched into their exhausted, muddy faces and their bodies. South Africa's gravel champion beaten into 2nd place by the 23-year-old Namibian, but it took a record time to do that.
Yeah, I must say, I'm a bit surprised with how I felt today. I mean, it's my first gravel bike race, so I came into it not knowing what to expect at all. So yeah, I just decided to play conservatively in the beginning. And yeah, I think about after 30, 40 Ks, there was a jeep track, quite muddy jeep track, where I got caught up in a crash. So then I had to burn a few matches to get back on. Being able to pull off the win, yeah, I was very happy, and yeah, big well done to Matt and Peter as well. I think we rode really well together. There was no negative racing. And other than that, very thanks to King Price and all the organisers putting on such a big event and making my first gravel race a good experience.
I knew I could ride that Portage. I think that was the last opportunity to kind of get to the way solo, but I mean, Alex was very strong today, and but yeah, we set a high pace from the beginning. I had some inside info on the railway line that was going to be pretty spicy there, so I made sure I got to the front, and then I knew that probably most of the mountain bikes will be able to get through, and that's good because they work and they don't sit, so I'm glad it paid off.
It was a proper gooi millies race vandag, some fields between the corn, mud. Yes, the conditions was actually quite crazy. Yeah, I think it was one of the toughest races the Suns I've done so far. And yeah, unfortunately just didn't have that final kick at the finish. Yeah, Alex just blew me up, and yeah, at least I was 3rd in the sprint, and yeah, super chuffed with having a 3rd place here at Race to the Sun.
Alex Miller joins Harvey Kruger, Harvey Kombrink, Beers himself, Nicole Carstens and Dusty Day as the King Price Race to the Sun winner. All 3 on the podium dipped under the old record of 4 hours 23 minutes set by Day a year ago. Teammates Haynes and Kruger were 4th and 5th, followed by young Jaden Turlo. Wessel Boerter and Nico Bell were next. Kent Main was the first of the roadies home. Back now to the women's elite race, which in 2023 was the biggest field yet in the 6-year history of the King Price Race to the Sun. Evidence that the gravel racing bug has bitten big time and is attracting big numbers of women athletes. The lead group was too strong by now. Sarah Hill leading Samantha Sanders. This after Catherine Collane had to stop to fix a drop chain. Hill and Sanders know each other very well, both as teammates and as racing rivals. So the winner was going to have to be very tactically astute when it mattered most. While Hill worked on the front, Sanders took on fuel in preparation for what looked like a sprint finish once again. Having lost almost 5 minutes to the mechanical, Kathy Collane was having to manage her efforts calmly while surfing wheels amongst some of the men to make up time. Kathy won the tough Swartberg 100, a round of the UCI Gravel World Series a week earlier, finishing 21st overall in a stacked field, which must have given her confidence ahead of her trip to the USA. Sanders and Hill, meanwhile, were hammering along towards the finish, working together for much of the time. But therein lies the catch. Neither wanted to work too hard for too long, at the risk of expending too much energy and effort ahead of what was boiling up to be a thrilling sprint finish. Sanders was in the lead as they left the R566. But a well-timed attack on the final dirt section by Hill put her into the lead. And she managed to outsprint Sam Sanders on the line to take a fantastic win. Congratulations, Sarah Hill.
Yeah, Sam is an absolute machine. It's such a pleasure always riding with her. She was such a teammate today actually throughout the race, and I kind of wanted to try go early because I knew in a long sprint she is so much faster than me. So I went early to try and catch her again because last year I couldn't catch her. And mentally I was ready for that from the QOM. I think I started prepping. And I just knew there's only really one opportunity to get in the front, and if you get in the front there and you have a good sprint, you can actually win. So I played my cards right. It's very, very rare that I ever beat Sam in a sprint, so I'm going to hold on to this as much as I can.
Yeah, I kind of made an attack at about the 34k mark where they said it was super dodgy. And Sarah and Kathy came with, and we kind of opened a gap. But yeah, I think tactically I rode a bit of a stupid race. I did 90% of the work on the front. And yeah, Sarah was a lot stronger on the sprint this year than last year. So yeah, error on my part, so well done to her. And yeah, second's better than last.
I'm not disappointed, just frustrated on today's race because I was in the winning move essentially, and then my chain came off and I just struggled to get back on, and then that was now the thing that I lost, made me lose the race. And then I chased super hard, and then I'm at the second water point, the gap was almost 4 minutes for me to them, and then coming in was now less, I think maybe 10 seconds. So I'm happy with that kind of performance, but it's just frustrating. But I know the form is there and everything from last weekend's win. So going into the States, there's a lot of confidence behind it.
A top-class podium, Sarah Hill becomes the 5th woman to win the King Price Race to the Sun. Just 2 seconds was all that split her and Sam Sanders in second. After a fighting second half of the race, Kathy Collane was just 2 minutes and 12 seconds back in third, maybe 20 minutes ahead of the 4th place rider, Muscovy Robenheimer. Ricky Lee Brookstone was the last of the sub-5.5 hour riders. The King Price Race to the Sun is without question one of the most popular events of its kind, with thousands of amateurs and weekend warriors tackling the full 100-miler or 50-miler as a solo rider or part of a relay team. A point-to-point event of this nature takes an enormous amount of planning and preparation to put together, something the Faces team do extremely well.
Yeah, we are very excited to be back for the 6th edition of Race to the Sun. The route has actually changed quite a lot since the beginning in 2018, and this year we decided to add another 7Ks on top of the 157, make the total distance 164 kilometers. We've added 2 more drags, which is going to make the elite racing quite exciting. We've got a stellar lineup this year with some of the top men and top women, and the roadside versus the mountainside. So yeah, it's going to be quite exciting. Can't wait to see that unfold. And then I want to say thanks to all the local communities, Brits, Boyateng and Mogwasi. They've been helping with all the route cleaning, prepping the routes, and especially marshalling on the day. And then last but not least, I want to say thanks to Magali Citrus and the local farmers. They've done an amazing job with these water points. Without them, this event wouldn't be what it is today. And then we as Faces want to say thank you for you guys for coming out, and we can't wait to share this journey with you next year.
The heart and soul of the King Price Race to the Sun are the thousands of amateurs who arrive at the start full of nerves, but then take on the event with an ever-increasing degree of confidence, helped along the way by the wonderful camaraderie among their fellow riders and the superbly stocked 5 water points.
Quite tough up until now, but it's very nice, and I enjoy riding with new people and meeting new people, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the race.
The wet weather has been much better than the dust and all the thick sand from last year. So looking forward, quite a bit to go, but amazing race so far.
Woo! This is 105 race!
Just gone through the 100k mark. It's really tougher than I thought, but also trying to enjoy it at the same time with my friend here, Peter. And just want to get to the finish and have something cold at the end.
Long 166 Ks apparently today, so there's a couple of extras which we didn't know about. Doing all right. I dropped my other partner at the 80k mark, and now I got my wife to finish with me. Feeling the fatigue setting in. Got some coke and some dates going, but yeah, we'll do it. Lekker.
Hi guys, I'm Freddie. I'm loving it, Thanks.
My name's Henry Basil, and this is an awesome race. One of the best ones I've ever done. It's long, it's hard, it's fun, it's fast. Loving it all the way. Thank you very much.
En route to Sun City, the riders pass through 2 local communities at Bojating and Mokwasi, where the residents give tired riders a big cheer as they close in on the finish. After hundreds of kilometres of dirt riding, the final stretch is a section of smooth tar, which brings broad smiles to the faces of even the most exhausted riders. The finish venue at Sun City could not be better. It's an iconic venue, and the general manager, Brett Hoppy, was a tired but happy finisher.
So Brett Hoppy, phenomenal ride. You're looking in great condition. You've obviously been training hard for this.
Yeah, we have. Geez, the course was a lot tougher this year than last year. So
I believe
really exciting, great ride, great spirit out there. What a fantastic event. To King Price and the organisers, just sensational.
We've got to say a big thank you to you as well. Sun City, what an incredible occasion for us to finish at. It's an amazing area for people to engage with.
I think so, and I mean our vision with this event and with the organisers, with Fritz and JP and King Price, is to make this event the Off-Road Argus. So those are the number of competitors we're targeting. You know, the roads have become so dangerous that this is just such a fabulous event, and the roadies feel comfortable on a gravel bike. So super exciting.
Yep, suits everybody, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, in South Africa, it is very daunting for people to ride on the road because of the cars, and you get crashes and things like that, where gravel bike racing has been picked up so much. And King Price Race to the Sun is the ultimate challenge for you as a beginner and as well as an elite athlete. For the elite athletes, there's gold, silver and bronze to compete for. So if it's under 5 hours, you get the gold. And if you do under 6 hours, it's silver. And if you do under 7 hours, it's a bronze, which is an amazing achievement for you to go and put up into your wall. But other than that, it's a beautiful start there at the Oeverklap in Hartbeespoort. You trek all the way along the Brits canals, get to the water point 2, which is also the halfway point for the 100 milers, but also the start of the 50 miler. Then you basically then trek onto the main roads back to Sun City, and who does not want to finish at Sun City? Sun City's been an absolutely beautiful and unbelievable host. Look at the vibe. There's a great entertainment at the moment, and the people are just flogging in, as you can see. We're close to 3,000 entries, and we hope to grow this thing for in the future to a bigger and better event, taking it over a weekend and just make it an unbelievable bike fest and gravel bike people just coming together and achieving their goals.
What a race. Our first one together as dad and daughter. Definitely not the last one. It was tough with these 2 race horses of us. Very, very, very tough. Over to you, Lee.
No, it was absolutely amazing. It's absolutely an honor to do it with my dad. I'm absolutely just in awe.
I love you.
Yeah.
Officially, it was our first MTB ride, and we started in the last group with a lot of novices. And it was a bit challenging because it was a bit technical going out the front, but it went well. I had good support. He was my support driver. The first half was quick, fast, flat. The second half was daunting. So it's questionable whether we're going to do it again next year or not. But I think we will. I think we will be back. We will definitely be back. So thanks, King Price and Race to the Sun. What an awesome day. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you.
Such a lucky day. The strongest field I think we've ever seen, with mountain bikers, road bikers mixing it up. A couple of guys that probably call themselves gravel experts, and it was a massive showdown. I must say the day probably went to the mountain bikers. It was a group broke away of about 7 of the elite mountain bikers, and in the end it was mountain bikers 1, 2, 3. So well done to them. It was a great day out. And it was exciting. It was such fast racing. I think it was a new record time, over 40 kilometers an hour average. On quite a challenging route. We had some rain in the last 2 days, which made it especially challenging. And then for everyone else that supported us, it's massive support. We had 2,500 odd entries, and people are just loving it. It's a nice route. We've got good community support, especially in Magalies area and around Magalies Citrus, and then Sun City gave us amazing support this year, and great sponsors. So it just made for a beautiful event and a lekker vibe at the finish here.
Without doubt, the 2023 King Price Race to the Sun was a vintage year. Record fields, thrilling racing, and vibes that were off the charts. Congratulations to all who took part in and completed the King Price Race to the Sun in 2023. It's a 100-mile journey that simply must be done. If you missed out this year, join us next year.